Namaskar, welcome to NDTV. Today you are watching a very special interview with Mr. S. Gurumurthy. He needs no introduction, but there are certain introduction you must keep in mind. He is editor of the magazine, iconic magazine Tughlaq. He is chairman and founder of Vivekanand International Foundation. He is a chartered accountant by profession, by his qualification. And there was a time when if he picks up a balance sheet, a corporate group would actually get very nervous. Those were the times. He is a commentator of our times. And one very interesting introduction, not many people would recall, he is an ex-congressman. And he has never joined any other party except Congress party. That was long back during Kamraj days. Sir, thank you for sparing time for us. It is an honor to talk to you.
Thank you, Sanjay. I'm happy you are here in Chennai and I'm meeting you after a long time, long time.
Yes, sir. So we will talk about Chennai. It becomes very important. Actually, this becomes a real battleground in the big Modi 3.0 plan. Why is he focusing so much on Tamil Nadu?
See, Tamil Nadu actually participated in a very significant manner in the freedom movement. The continuation of that was all Tamil Nadu Congress leaders were mostly national leaders. They didn't focus on local politics. That is what gave space to the DMK to capture power in 1967. And Kamraj became old, and Mrs. Gandhi divided the Congress, weakened the Congress, and the Congress was virtually wiped out in 1971. Afterwards, the DMK split. And the split in the DMK did not help the Congress. It actually took away the Congress votes. The faction led by M.G. Ramachandran, which emerged as capable of defeating the DMK, took away the nationalist votes, the anti-DMK votes. And the Congress got weakened even further. So, the ADMK emerged as the main opponent of the DMK, and it became a pseudo-nationalist party. And so the ADMK kept on winning and the DMK became weaker and weaker. After M.G. Ramachandran also, the situation did not get repaired except for one election in 1989. When the DMK split, the the Congress thought that this would be an opportunity to emerge, which was an opportunity. My friend Cho Ramaswamy played a very significant role in that. So, Jayalalitha's faction of the ADMK got 21% votes. Janaki faction got 9% votes. Congress got 20% votes. Which is a very significant percentage as compared to what it has been doing so far. But the DMK, which got 29% votes, emerged as the winner. More or less the similar situation is arising in Tamil Nadu today. Post Jayalalitha and Karunanidhi, both parties are meandering. They are not in a position to show the vibrancy which used to be there in both the parties. And the ADMK was the principal role of ADMK was to oppose the DMK. And the DMK's role was to redefine Tamil Nadu in the Dravidian way, directly, indirectly, certain amount of anti-nationalism, anti-Hindu, anti-North, anti-Brahmin. You know, it had smuggled in these things into what is called the Dravidian ideology. All this Karunanidhi could articulate very well. That ended with Karunanidhi, and what is now happening is like, you know, many parties are run by families. This also run by family.
So it has run its course. Is there a fatigue about Dravidian politics?
Yes.
And why would you say so?
You see, Tamil Nadu is perhaps in two ways. In human resource terms, it is probably the best state in the country. And it is perhaps the most Hinduized state. Most people do not know the religious roots of Tamil Nadu are so strong. This was overshadowed by the Dravidian movement in the 1960s and 70s. At that time, the society had also turned some kind of non-believing society. But the society has become completely a believing society, and politics does not know how to handle a believing society, and that's where the DMK is flabbergasted. So DMK is in a huge ideological confusion. So this is the time that BJP entered here, and there was also a provocation for that. Narendra Modi is not a man who will take Go Back Modi slogan, which emerged in 2018 and 19. So he decided.
These triggers help him actually.
Correct. You provoke Narendra Modi, you are in trouble. And he doesn't have a very 2-month, 3-month or 4-month plan. He has a decade-old plan. He thinks decades ahead. So he decided to take on the Tamil platform, and then he began quoting Tamil in United Nations, in US, in Australia, in Malaysia. Everywhere he went, he took. Tamil Nadu did not know how to handle this person. And in Tamil Nadu, he went about wearing dhoti, and Chinese Prime Minister, President, he was walking in dhoti. And this is something which the DMK could not understand.
So, correct me if I am wrong. Earlier, BJP, RSS conversation about Tamil Nadu, as Dravidian politics put it, about Hindutva, Hindi language. The Modi-led BJP is using a different narrative. It is bringing Xi Jinping here, getting Singol out and making a big commentary about it. And then starting his first day about Ayodhya temple from Tamil Nadu and talking about antiquity of Tamil Nadu, the language, the history, the mother of democracy was Tamil Nadu in 1st and 2nd century. So this north and south, north versus south or north dash south actually is an integration project for him.
You see, for Modi, Tamil Nadu emerged as not a political challenge, but as an intellectual and cultural challenge. There was actually no cultural divide between Tamil Nadu and North. That is where the DMK went wrong. They tried to give political interpretation to small differences between North and South and tried to say South is different. But the amount of integration that has taken place in the post-independence period in terms of people traveling, apart from the cultural influences, economic influence, kind of, for example, the Kongu people who have risen up as an economic force, 80% of the GDP is generated in the Kongu region by 6 districts. And they do financing all over India. And they do they do the lorry business all over they have become national, and as well as they have gone to Africa and things like that. They have become an international community. They are a very powerful community. So the economic integration that has taken place and the educational institutions which have brought about this kind of, this is completely beyond the comprehension of the DMK to integrate it into their separatist politics. So Narendra Modi saw all this, and then he brought in the Kashi Tamil link, and now he has emerged as a person against whom not a word can be said in Tamil Nadu, as someone who is not from Tamil Nadu. And he is also in a sense Dravidian. The Dravidian states include from Gujarat downwards. All the states down from Vindhyas are called Dravidas. So he is also part of the Dravidian stock. So now he is emerged as a challenge.
So is that the reason when he was Gujarat Chief Minister, he was interacting with Jayalalitha very regularly?
You see, Jayalalitha and Modi struck chord because she was basically a cultural Hindu. And so when she decided to support the Shilanyas program in 1990, which is a very, very major development, from Tamil Nadu, a Dravidian chief minister supporting Shilanyas of the BJP, which is no party which touch with a barge pole. Then he identified that there is something deeper in her and began relating to her. And that's why when Modi became chief minister, she was perhaps the only chief minister to attend that program, because he was not a very welcomed chief minister in Gujarat at that time. So they struck chord. To that extent, there is a connection between the ADMK mind and Modi. So there has been a confluence taking place between the BJP and the ADMK, and the ADMK is a Hinduized DMK. So that also helps.
Right. I really want to talk a lot about this election, but I think I will save it for later. Let's focus on some big picture ideas, which is why this election is very important at global level. It is just not one more election. and the kind of future Mr. Modi is crafting. There is debate about how democratic he is. So let's begin from this part, because we saw Congress party, you worked during emergency as underground activist, and now we hear this less democracy, more democracy versus unstable government. You have written about it. So I want you to capture your thoughts on that.
You see, the idea of people do not know what was emergency. I have experienced emergency. I was underground. In fact, I could not attend my father's shraddh because I was underground. I could not eat in my house. So that is the kind of situation that prevailed. It was pitch dark everywhere. So to say that there is some undeclared emergency, no, it means so how illiterate these people are about emergency. Emergency is a constitutional clampdown on all rights. It is not that a strong leader takes a strong position, you call him an autocrat. An autocrat can emerge only when the constitution itself certifies that autocracy. That's what happened during the emergency. Such a situation can never arise in this country because the Janata Party amended the constitution to say, unless there is armed rebellion anywhere, you cannot declare emergency, and even then you can declare emergency only in the region in which the armed rebellion takes place. Previously, if there was a disturbance, if there was a law and order situation, if there is a massive riot, you could declare emergency all over the country. So that has been completely snuffed out. That situation doesn't arise at all. For some people to say today that there is an emergency, the emergency-like situation, it means scoffing at the constitution, scoffing at the parliament, and even demeaning the Supreme Court, which is supposed to be protecting the constitutional rights of the people. And so this is a kind of a debate in which only illiterates can take part. All that I can say is that there is less democracy in India is foolish. There are 5,500 cases under the PMLA Act. Only less than 50 cases have been filed against politicians. Only politicians come and shout before you. All other people who have been caught, who are running away, they are not before you. These are the people, and money have been caught, 350 crores, 200 crores, 150 crores. And all these monies have been caught from who? And they are the people who are coming and saying that there is no democracy and there is so much of autocracy. I think, this hiding behind the idea of democracy to escape PMLA is not a debate on democracy. Now, if you want to know what is happening at the global level, the transition of India, I can tell you. You see, you have to go back to 1989, in which I am a party to, in a way, to bring instability in this country by defeating Rajiv Gandhi on the issue of Bofors. Afterwards, in the next 10 years, till 1998, we had 7 prime ministers. Some lasted for months, some lasted for days. This is what did India down. And afterwards, we had coalitions, but not as efficient as one would expect the government of India to be, which resulted in the Forbes magazine writing an article. Why China flew and India only grew? They held Indian democracy responsible for that. They said, because of democracy, in India it took 60 years to construct the Narmada Dam. But the Three Gorges Dam, which sank some 23 cities, 172 towns, and some 1,200 villages, and 1.2 million people, they constructed in 10 years. Your Narmada Dam affected no city, no town, 123 villages, and just about 1 lakh of people. That took 60 years. They said this country can never develop because of democracy. But Narendra Modi felt different. Because in this very democracy, he had seen Gujarat lifting and growing and becoming a prominent and a global level prominence Gujarat had attained. This very democracy. So he must be laughing within himself. He knew that it was political instability that cost India. And so when he brought stable government in 2014 by appealing to the people, he addressed 780 rallies. When I met him after he became Prime Minister, he told me, Guru, one leg did not work. I had to stand on one leg to address 700 rallies. That is the effort he put in, got the mandate, and transformed the country. And he was an untouchable to the world. Every country denied visa to him. He said, I will never apply for visa. They came and gave the visa. And today, what is the position? A man who was declared as a mini Hitler Italian Prime Minister calls him as the most loved leader. And Bill and
It is
Biden...
called melody.
Melody. So, Biden says that I feel like taking your autograph. And Australian Prime Minister calls him a boss. You see the shift. The shift is because of India's rise as well as Modi's capability to transform India and himself and to convince the world who was seen as a mini Hitler, as a person who can emerge as a leader of that kind. You know what kind of capacity, tenacity and what kind of effort he must have put in. So he transformed himself and transformed India. Two decisions which he took. That India will produce a vaccine. Everybody laughed. We all laughed. We always see who produces the vaccine and who will export it to us, and we suffer all the diseases and then get the vaccine. But he said, I will produce the vaccine. And he produced not one but two. And he vaccinated 110 crore people. And in America, 1.2 million people died. And in America, the number of people affected, if it is translated in population ratio,
Death per 100 was much, much higher than India.
if the American casualty and American infection is translated in terms of population, India must have had infection of 45 crore people and death of 4.5 crore people. He saved us. Otherwise, we would never have got vaccine at all. No country could have produced the kind of vaccine we needed. Second is his decision on Ukraine. He didn't have 10 days to decide. He didn't have 10 hours to decide. He had maybe a couple of hours to decide.
Correct.
And he took a decision to remain neutral, which means supporting Russia, which is the biggest affront you could have caused to the United States. And what he did, he didn't mean it only as a political action. He knew that Ukraine war means oil will hit $200. He decided to buy oil from Russia in rupee terms. It not only brought down the very oil threat which could have damaged the global economy and the Indian economy and smashed Indian economy out of existence after the COVID. We got laddu in both hands. His stature increased. America indirectly threatened sanctions against India. We kept quiet. Now America needs India. We have friendship with America because, the liberal democracies constitute only 13% of world's population. Without adding India's 18%, they are nothing. So they want India. That is why G7 nations are giving special place to Indian participation. So they need India. And Russia is a friend of India. So the foe of America is a friend of India. And America cannot give up India. Their statements against us has no meaning today. So what I'm saying is India has emerged as a player, as the only player who can probably avoid a Cold War in future. So when you are electing a government this time, a leader this time, you are not electing a leader for India. You are electing a global leader on the Indian soil. This is a major shift. This has never happened in the history of India. Nehru was a leader in his times because of the global effect. But the kind of difficulties, the impediments, the opposition, the kind of calumny Narendra Modi overcame to emerge in this situation, this requires a historic study.
Very, very interesting. Currently, many of us are grappling that how do we define ourselves? What is the ideological moorings of Indians? And some very ordinary observations I want to make. Globalization is a broken project. People say democracy is in recession. And some strong leaders, autocrats, have emerged. So basically the Western worldview is actually on recession. And those societies and countries who had very strong cultural identity are rediscovering themselves. That is why some of us middle pathwalas and the liberals are grappling and not understanding this new change, going back to the roots to create a modern nation?
You see, in fact, you have to understand the shift in the world, not only in the Western world, because we always understand the Western world through the Western world. You know, in 1965, what happened, and between 65 and 74, what happened in China? Destroy all the past. Cultural revolution. They destroyed every image, every book of Confucius. Now, in 2021, Xi Jinping, in the 100th year of the Communist Party celebrations, he said 5,000-year culture of China will not only guide us today, it will guide us in future also. How did communism produce culture, or how did Confucius emerge out of communism? This is the shift in the world. And they are all top-down countries. India is the only country which is a bottom-upwards country. This is what Mahatma Gandhi showed. The top-down Congress did not work. When he came, he went to the ordinary people, mobilized the masses, made them participate in the freedom movement. That was the most democratic freedom movement. So in India, the Ram Janmabhoomi movement developed to bring out the corruptions and the distortions the West-led political, cultural, secular thoughts have introduced into this country. And the slow shift of the country was seeded. I was part of the process at that time, you know it, in 1980s. We were all very much part of the seeding of the Ram Janmabhoomi movement as the only thing which can U-turn India. And if you see all the political changes that took place, the redefining of the idea of India, you use the word ideology. India has had never an ideology. Ideology means there is an enemy. India is the only country which did not have an ideological enemy. Hinduism is the only religion which does not have a theologically declared enemy. We have only a philosophy. So we have understood the philosophy of India. It's an inclusive philosophy. Can you ever see so many Christians, Muslims, so many people with differing faiths? We have at one point we had more gods than the number of people in this country. We could coexist only because of philosophy. Ideology means we have killed each other. So that identity is coming back. Though the recovery of that identity or the reinstatement of it is being projected as some kind of a hostile development. That has not clicked. It happened in 90s. It has not happened in 2019. I think Narendra Modi has, despite the fact that he is being caricatured like this, he has struck chord with the ordinary people that he has no enemy. You may say, I am home and so-and-so's enemy. You may even convince people, but I don't think that is clicking. So the idea of India, consistent with the philosophy of India for thousands of years, he is now slowly seeping in. That is what is happening in Tamil Nadu also.
Very interesting. So coming back to Tamil Nadu, there is one more component to the whole thing, which is caste. The BJP, which was seen as Brahmin Baniya party, is at national level working to become an OBC party. In Tamil Nadu, this caste factor is very, very important, and it seems that Mr. Modi-led BJP has figured this out, and they are coming up with a new social coalition in Tamil Nadu. Will you describe this in bit detail?
You see, caste is not just a social institution. Many people misunderstand it. It is a cultural institution, and in sense, every caste is a religion in itself. It has a god, it has a way of life, it has its own way of celebrating marriage, it has its own literature, it has its own mathas, it has its own matadhipatis. People do not know this. The BJP, through the Ram Janmabhoomi movement, and later the Sengol, it figured out that caste is not just a social institution to be politically used. It is not just a social institution to be set up against one another. That there is a larger identity which is partly spiritual and partly religious and partly cultural. This can be a kind of a coalition of castes at that level. That has been ignored by the DMK. DMK fought against it. DMK not only fought against it, it wanted to destroy it. It wanted to keep the caste separate from its cultural roots. That is where the castes are now getting alienated from the culture-free Dravidian ideology. So the castes are now beginning to go back to their roots, and that is what Narendra Modi is doing. For example, this Devendra Kulavelalar movement, which is a scheduled caste. And they said, we are not, they are being distributed in 7-8 names. They said, no, we are Devendra Kula. We want our name. So they went and appealed to Modi. He said, you are Devendra, I am Narendra. I will get your name changed. He amended the constitution, changed the name. That community feels proud. Their economic status is different. They are not scheduled caste in that sense. They said, we are not scheduled caste. You know what is their next demand? We don't want to be part of the scheduled caste. They want to come out of it. This is what cultural pride can do. This Modi is figuring out. So he is now introducing a new way of approaching Tamil Nadu politics, which has completely made the Dravidian approach outdated. That's where the BJP is rising today.
So now coming back to Tamil Nadu, the biggest curiosity everyone has, that with so much effort, what will electorally BJP gain in this Lok Sabha election?
You see, my feeling is, as I told you, I am recalling the 1989 assembly election, where the DMK won and the DMK lost. The DMK will lose all elections afterwards was certified by 1989 election, because all other parties put together got some 60% votes. The DMK got only 28% votes. The DMK won that election because the other parties' votes got divided. Almost the same situation is coming today, because the DMK has lost its steam in the last 2-3 years. And I wouldn't call it an anti-establishment wave. There is a huge anti-establishment sentiment. It is not able to overcome it because it doesn't have the capability which we used to see in Karunanidhi. The same way we don't have the capability which we used to see in Jayalalitha. But Narendra Modi has emerged as some kind of a person who is as much local as he looks, as he deals with, as he speaks, and at the same time national and global. So he connects a series of social and intellectual strata of Tamil society. So there is a new appreciation of the BJP. If the BJP gets 15 to 20% votes this time, the 1998 election where the Congress got 20% votes, which it lost later because it had to enter into alliances and compromise itself and reduce the Tamil Nadu Congress party to zero. That situation the BJP was in between 1996 and 2014. And it gradually was getting out of it. And now, thanks to ADMK's decision to move out of the DMK, it is a gift to BJP by the ADMK to realize its own strength. That's where I think principally the two personalities played a great role. Modi at the national level and Annamalai at the local level. This is a deadly combination.
True.
I think if they are able to post this kind of voting, I don't know about the number of seats. They may say they will get 3 seats, some get 4 seats. But one thing, the Tughlaq has made an analysis. Maybe 3 or 4 seats the BJP may be in the lead. But, you know, they distribute a lot of money and all that. Last minute, what change will take place, we don't know. But there are 7 seats in which the BJP is number 2. Right. That means in 10 seats, the BJP is either number 1 or number 2. In 13 seats, according to us, the BJP is number 3. In no seat, the BJP is getting less than 10-11% votes. If the BJP posts this kind of electoral performance, irrespective of the number of seats, it has brought about a turn in Tamil Nadu politics.
Absolutely. So another survey by CSDS that projects that in this election, in South India, BJP may touch vote share, 25%. That means Tamil Nadu will be the biggest contributor, and Kerala also, and Karnataka, you already have a sizable presence there. So it may not get you seats this time. BJP may not get many seats, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, whatever. But vote share will significantly increase in double digit.
No, that indicates the trend. You know, till now there was no break. There was no critical mass of a party emerging apart from the ADMK and the DMK. This critical mass, once the BJP gets in 2026 election, the BJP will play probably the principal role in Tamil Nadu politics. And for which Narendra Modi's long-term strategy, the provocation that Modi go back, and he's installing Annamalai as the person, and the relative decline of both the DMK and the ADMK, and the ADMK decision to dissociate from him because of the Karnataka defeat, not visualizing that the BJP will win in the 3 northern states. All this culminated to put the BJP in the driver's seat in Tamil Nadu politics.
Absolutely. And Tamil Nadu has one more unique feature, which is Tamil Nadu voter, they crave for the larger than life persona. So post MGR, Jayalalitha, Karunanidhi, there is a void. So at larger level, Mr. Modi, and at incubation level, Annamalai is a great combination.
Correct. Another also, Tamil Nadu education-wise, in terms of its connectivity all over India, and its role at the global level. Many Tamil people are leading multinational corporations.
Absolutely.
And they are all educated in ordinary schools here. You know, this is the internal brand of Tamil Nadu, which is working, which will not be visible to the cephologists.
But that is a global presence.
It's a global presence.
And last but not the least, the woman power. Of 2016 onwards, women voters are outnumbering men voters in this election.
And Modi has a special appeal for women. I don't know how the personality of Modi and the personality of women are two different things, but he has been able to culturally appeal to them, economically make them important, and gives them a role in every one of the schemes which he has devised. You know, in all this he has put a lot of efforts, and that has connected him to women in a manner in which no leader after Indira Gandhi had been able to do.
Sir, very fascinating conversation with you. On behalf of our audiences, I want to make a public appeal to you that once a month we must talk.
Yes. And I have a lot to tell you about what happened between 1975 and how the Indian polity shifted stage by stage by stage to today's stage, where India occupies the principal place in the global arena. And this is not known, or it is not being discussed in the discourse in India because of our concerns with the day-to-day things. And TV has contributed no less to the fact that it is interested in the hourly development.
Yeah.
And we have become such short-termist in approach. We don't connect to the past, and we cannot get to the future.
You are so right, sir. So we should actually do a conversation, a series of conversation, because you have been in this whole last 4 decades, you have been part of historical twist and turning points of this country in politics, society, culture, and journalism now. So we must talk about it.
You know why? It is because I refused to get into politics when I was asked to become a Rajya Sabha member in 1992. It is the Kanchi Mahaswami who told me not to get into politics. So that made me relevant in politics even today. Otherwise, after Rajya Sabha term was over, nobody would have cared for me. So maybe it is my guru's advice which has kept me relevant even today.
I know, and you won't like this, but many people say that without any seat of power, you are one of the most powerful person in India.
You know, in 1990, Gentleman magazine rated me as one of the most 50 powerful persons in India. And in 2018, 50 most powerful persons were listed in the India Today, in which my name figured. But I don't think in 1990 who were there, except me, anyone else was there. So that's why if you occupy power, your influence goes with power. If you don't occupy power, maybe your influence lost.
It flushes and thrives, and it is 2024. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Sanjay.